It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
The 2015 Dream Season Decree is a deadly combination of speed and precision. It's built for the moments when time stands still. When the only thing that will break the silence is an arrow slicing a clean path to the kill zone. The bow of your dreams is a nightmare for big game. This is PSE's Decree. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
We know the future of hunting depends on our nation's youth. But did you know that in many states, it's illegal for you to take your son or daughter hunting until the age of 12 or even older? As a result, we have fewer young hunters, and the Families Afield program is designed to eliminate those barriers. Hunting is safe, and the safest hunters afield are young people with adult mentors. Visit our website at familiesafield.org to find out how you can bring more families afield.
Welcome back to another Up North Journal Minicast.
Something you are going to hear in 3 to 5 minutes on a minicast. Something totally nothing you're going to hear on our main cast. But you're going to hear it right now. And we've got something really interesting. We're going along a theme here in these last couple of minicasts about how to get to your stand, what position is your bow in, are you shooting, sitting, standing, are you sitting in the sun, facing the sun? Mm-hmm. But now, let's jump ahead. You've actually made this shot.
Yep.
You've actually let the arrow fly.
Or the bullet fly.
Or the bullet fly. What do you do then?
What do I do after I execute the shot?
Yep.
Depends if I'm using rifle or bow.
All right. It's bow season, so let's talk bow first, of course.
First thing I do is watch after the shot's left the bow, and that happens by the time it hits the deer, less than a second. You know, it's done, executed the shot. The bow's down. I'm looking. I'm scanning. I'm watching. I'm hoping to see as I execute the shot where the arrow hit. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Whether you're using a lighted knock or not. Which that's something I haven't. We need to talk about that in a minicast one time, by the way, because I haven't used a lighted knock. I don't know why.
I haven't used it either.
So
I'm going to this year.
But I watched if I could see where the hit was. Determine what type of hit it was. Then I'm watching where the animal goes. Does the animal fall? I'm not bragging. I'm just saying every deer that I've shot with a rifle, except for 2, have dropped in its tracks. So it's done deal at that point.
Yep.
The other two didn't go but maybe 20, 30 yards and pile up. So be that it may, when I'm archery hunting, I'm looking for direction of travel. I'm picking out a landmark. And to see where the last possible spot that I see that animal. Because every animal that I've shot with a bow, with deer with a bow, has not dropped in its tracks. They take off. They got that. They've been hit, and they got the adrenaline.
Yep.
They haven't been knocked off their feet by a rifle, so they're charging. They're going. They're fleeing. So I pick that landmark out, and then I just sit and calm down. First of all, let the adrenaline dump happen. Sit there, get rid of that, and concentrate and listen. Take my beanie off because I'm always wearing a beanie. Get it up over my ears, and I'm listening. I got my field glasses up, and I'm looking at that last spot where I saw that buck or that doe go. Looking for any movement, listening. Did I hear him crash? Did I hear him running through weeds? Did I hear antlers hitting limbs? What does that sound like?
Yep.
Trying to make sense of what I'm hearing. Right. Or not hearing. Okay. Could be not hearing. But I'm glassing, and I'm just waiting, and I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And I wait. And I'll typically wait half hour to an hour depending on what I'm here, what I heard, what I saw.
Right.
Sometimes I'll wait more than that. I shot a doe once, and I shot her. She ran about 50 yards and laid down. I went to sleep. I said, that's done deal. And I went to sleep. I sat back. And I was sitting in a shooting tower, raised tower, like a gun blind, but it had port windows for archery. And I was like, okay, done deal. And I went to sleep, woke up about an hour and a half later, and I got down, found where I'd hit her, and I knew where she'd laid down, walked up over, and it was just a little tiny rise. When I was on the ground, it was up over a little rise.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And she jumped up and took off. A big puddle of blood there. Obviously, it wasn't as good a hit as I thought, and I lost that deer because I busted her and she ran. I didn't take the time to sit there and watch her and glass it, and I lost that deer because of that.
Okay.
Even though I waited and went to sleep for an hour and a half.
An hour and a half, and she still wasn't dead.
No, she did not die. She just laid down. Obviously, I hit her back further than what I thought.
Right, exactly.
So, I learned a lesson by that. I now sit and wait and wait and wait. The last buck that I shot, I waited a good half hour to an hour, and I knew I saw the arrow hit. I knew exactly where I hit the deer. I knew it was dead deer, but I couldn't find the blood trail, and it hit the edge of a food plot and ran into a swamp.
Ugh.
And I knew the direction of travel, and it was getting dark. I went back in the dark, and I found a couple drops of blood, and I was, doing the things that you do normally to lead a blood trail, but I didn't find it till the next morning.
Oh, okay.
But that's the reason I found that is because I marked that. I knew where that deer had entered. I watched where it disappeared. So yeah, I typically sit back and I wait. I wait longer now than I used to.
Okay. For me, I do exactly kind of what you do. After the shot, kind of analyze it, and okay, watch what happens, where it goes. Last time you see it, I've only had one with a bow drop because I spined her. Other than that, they're taking off. Mm-hmm. And I'll try, like you said, you just try to get a direction and the last point of reference. Because this helped us one night when I think we had 3 deer down in one evening, and we were tracking them all. And it got dark. Mm-hmm. And my cousin shot the deer. It ran past my brother. My brother saw it go down, but my cousin didn't know that. But it got dark. Mm-hmm. And you're out there pitch black with a flashlight, and so you can't see nothing.
Right.
So my brother says, hold on. So he went over to his tree stand. He climbed up there. He says, okay. And he led us with our flashlights to the area. Right. Because he had a reference point where it went down.
He's seen it go down.
Right. Right. So we found it then. Do you confirm after you shoot, you stay in the tree stand and then you just wait? You don't go confirm that you made a hit?
Yeah. I did leave that part out. Yes.
Okay.
I will go down and verify if it's a good clean pass through. And even if it's not a pass through, if I see the arrow, if I were to see the arrow sticking out, I haven't had this happen, but if I were to see the arrow sticking out and it run off, I would still go down to confirm where the deer was and see if there's any blood, any hair, see the color of the blood. There's telltale signs there.
Yep.
That's going to tell you what kind of hit you've got.
That's probably after I let the arrow and after it takes off and I lose it, mm-hmm. I'll reference it and then I'll go out mm-hmm. where it was, confirm, okay, I've got blood, and I usually mark it, mm-hmm. and then I'll think, okay, what shot was it? What type do I believe it to be? And then I'll sit back and go, okay, do I need help? Don't mm-hmm. I need help?
Right. Those types of things.
Right. The one buck that I did shoot, as soon as I picked up blood, I could just see it in the snow. Mm-hmm. It was a red carpet, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Follow the red trail.
Yeah, that deer went 50 yards at the max, and it was there.
Right.
Another time I shot a buck. It was probably my furthest with a rifle, and he was kind of on a brisk walk, and he stopped for a split second. I shot, and he just kind of kept on going. Mm-hmm. I was like, He kind of jumped, but he kept on going. I'm like, wow. So I said, okay. I went to that spot. I found it. I found blood. I said, okay. And I just marked it, and then I went and got help. Mm-hmm. He ended up going about 60 yards or so, but I wasn't sure, and I didn't want to jump him.
Right.
we have made that mistake in the past, and that's not fun either.
No, that's the same scenario that I ran into with that doe that year. Another thing I didn't mention, another reason I like to sit and wait, and I don't care if you're a seasoned hunter or not, you get an adrenaline dump afterwards. It's, some people get it before the shot, buck fever. Buck fever. But after you've put a few on the ground, you learn to be able to control that. But still, once you sit down, now you get that adrenaline dump. Well, there's nothing worse than trying to climb down on a tree stand while you're shaking.
That's true. That's true.
Let that wear off. Let it wear off. Take in everything that you see, especially for new hunters. Get that out of your system. Let it just sit and work through that, because you don't want to be trying to climb out of your tree stand on an adrenaline rush and make a mistake and fall.
And I want to take that one step further. And if you do it too quickly and your adrenaline rushes and you rush everything from getting out of your stand to running over there to looking for blood, finding the blood trail, and then you're pushing the deer.
Yep.
Because if you lose sight of it right away, that deer might have not went another 20, 30 yards and set right down.
Yeah.
And like you said, you seen it sit down for over an hour and a half, and it still got up and took off.
Yep.
So, but no, that's a good one. But yeah, all those little things, and especially the new hunters.
Yep.
That's
take your time, slow down, enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoy the adrenaline rush. Just take a few deep breaths.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I will totally agree with them. It's the toughest thing to do. That half hour to wait is probably like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Especially if it's your first deer.
Right.
But it's well worth it in the end.
Yep. Work through it and go enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, that'll do it for this minicast. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Black Eagle Arrows,
Cabela's,
Antler Action,
Spot Shooter Archery,
Tom's Custom Turkey Calls,
Family Traditions Tree Stands,
and Badass Slingshots.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.